Hey, Richard Madan here at the International Spy Museum. So you may have heard about that so-called spy whale that has been seen off the coast of Norway, but weaponizing animals for espionage purposes has been around for decades, if not centuries. Andrew Hammond, the curator and historian here at the International Spy Museum, is going to walk us through a few failed experiments or a couple espionage tools that have been successful in the past. And right behind you, Andrew, is the spy snake that's been used possibly in the last decade or so. Walk us through what that is.
In certain parts of the world, snakes like this are things that people see. The human instinct is to stay away from a snake. So what a great opportunity to gather intelligence, to secretly take information from A to B, or to do some other kind of mission. Because again, our natural instinct when we see a snake is to move away from it. So hiding in plain sight is very important in intelligence. This is very common in Bali. If you saw it in Scotland, you might think, it's probably the wrong place to use it.
Not a lot of snakes in Scotland.
Not too many.
A couple other failed experiments too. We talked about Acoustic Kitty back in the Cold War. What was the idea that the CIA was thinking about using a cat for spying purposes?
Okay, so there's an Asian country. There's cats that are always around this Asian leader. The CIA want to hear what he has to say. So they think, what if we get a cat and use that to gather intelligence? So they put a speaker in its ear, a receiver in the base of its skull, and they try to train the cat to perform and go places they want it to go.
You can't really train a cat though.
This is the old saying, I have a couple myself. It's very, very difficult. So ultimately it was unsuccessful, but this is the nature of scientific progress. Yeah, the pigeon. So this is an example from World War I where they tried to use a pigeon to take photographs of the other side to gather intelligence. It wasn't particularly successful because of the way that a pigeon moves. So it was difficult to make sense of all of the photographs. But just we've spoke about successes and failures. The pigeon was a failure in that sense, but it was a success in the sense of relaying information from A to B. A famous example from the US Army Signal Corps, Pigeon basically was responsible for saving a couple of hundred people, and it ended up getting the Croix de Guerre from the French government because it ended up dying of wounds it received in that operation. It was shot through the breast and shot through the leg.
But it did have a successful life helping the Allies.
Exactly.